Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be checking out a very fun theme team in the Weather Cup, the Triple King theme team. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. The team consists of a Kingler on the lead running Legacy Mudshot, a triple Legacy Sea King, and a Kingdra in the back. So all three water types and all three Pokemon having King in the name. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out the Triple King theme team in action in the Weather Cup. Hopping to the first match, leading Kingler into Whiscash. Pretty neutral matchup on paper, but Kingler is so glassy that Kingler is going to struggle to take hits here. Kingler is going to overfarm quite a bit and strike first with the Crabhammer. Crabhammer is going to get a shield from the Whiscash. Kingler continuing to farm. Whiscash going to fire off the Mud Bomb here. Kingler will be able to survive it, but it's going to put the Kingler deep into the red. Whiscash continuing to overfarm, allowing Kingler to make a second Crabhammer. That gets the Whiscash low. Whiscash overfarms too much. Underestimated the spamminess of Kingler. Kingler wins CMP with the X-Scissor and is able to get both shields from the opponent, and that is absolutely fantastic, as now you can just send in Kingdra and look for an energy lead. Whiscash does have some energy banked up. We do see a shield from the Kingdra. Whiscash goes for the Mud Bomb and is going to save switch into the Alolan Sandslash. Sandslash is going to be met with the Octazooka from the Kingdra. Kingdra hoping for the debuff. Octazooka, no debuff, and now in comes the triple Legacy Sea King. Sea King, of course, does have Drill Run, which will hit for massive super effective damage onto the Sandslash. Able to make it to the Drill Run. This is going to be goodbye to the Sandslash. Does the opponent send in their third Pokemon, or do they bring in the low health Whiscash? Opponent is going to send in the Whiscash. Whiscash able to make it to a Mud Bomb. The final shield is being used. Sea King looking for the resisted Poison Jab farm down. Gets the farm down in the back. It's the opponent's own Kingdra. Kingdra will be met with the Icy Wind. This will hit for neutral, lower the opponent's attack, and now it's a Kingdra mirror. Kingdra looking for the farm down. Opponent able to reach a move, but this should only be an Octazooka. That is double resisted, getting the farm down and the victory. Picking up an awkward lead in the next match, Kingler into Empoleon. Opponent is going to save switch into Toxapex, and this matchup is not any better. Going to bank a ton of energy on the Kingler for later in the match and send in the triple Legacy Sea King. We're going to see the immediate shield being used. Toxapex full sends the Sludge Wave. Sea King continuing to farm, looking for the back-to-back drill runs and able to win CMP over the Toxapex. Toxapex has made it to Sludge Wave number 2. Is Sea King willing to commit the second shield? They are not. Sludge Wave from the Toxapex. Sea King able to hang on and make it to that drill run. Very nicely done. That drill run is going to KO. Opponent's going to send in Empoleon, and Empoleon gets the farm down. In comes that Kingler. Kingler has a bunch of energy from earlier, going to fire off the Crabhammer. Crabhammer is able to connect and does a ton of resisted damage. Kingler going for Crabhammer number 2. Decision time for the Empoleon. Empoleon is going to commit the shield, and Kingler gets the Crabhammer boost. Kingler committing the shield. Empoleon goes for the Drill Peck. Empoleon getting absolutely shredded by those boosted mud shots. Kingler going for the X-Scissor here. X-Scissor is going to KO in the back. Opponent has a Shadow Charizard. Charizard, unfortunately, is going to be able to hit for massive super effective damage with the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw gets that Kingdra deep into the red. Kingdra will be able to grab a shield here with this Octazooka. Octazooka lands. Shadow Charizard gets the farm down, and unfortunately, that will be game over. Charizard leaves with the move loaded. Blast burns the Kingler, and that is a good game. Moving into the next match, leading Kingler into Shadow Swampert. This is a pretty scary matchup for Kingler, purely just because even a resisted Shadow Hydro Cannon is going to do so much damage. Opponent goes straight for it. Hydro Cannon nearly puts Kingler into the red. My goodness. Kingler is going to farm up, go for the Crabhammer, and win CMP over the Swampert. Crabhammer is going to get the shield. Decision time for the Kingler. Kingler is going to commit, as Kingler still does have quite a bit of energy here. Kingler continuing to farm up, able to make it to the back-to-back X-Scissors versus the Swampert. X-Scissor is going to get the shield and able to fire off X-Scissor number 2. Now, this will not KO the Swampert, but it will get them into the red. And now you can send in Kingdra, shield the Earthquake, and get a nice energy lead for whatever the opponent has in the back. Opponent does full send the Earthquake. They get farmed down. down. In the back, they have a Alolan Sandslash. Definitely not what the Kingdra was hoping to see. Kingdra will be met with the Ice Punch from the Alolan Sandslash. Ice Punch is going to land. Kingdra continuing to farm, sending in the Seaking. Unfortunately, no catch to be found there. And now, the Seaking is going to be hit with a Bulldoze. Bulldoze is able to land. Seaking continuing to farm. Opponent is going to send in Blaziken, and this might be winnable here. Seaking going for the Drill Run. Drill Run one-shots the Blaziken. In comes the Sandslash. Sandslash cannot make it to a move. Drill Run onto the Sandslash. KOs, and Seaking slams the door. Picking up a tough lead in the next match, Kingler into Araquanid. Araquanid has neutral to favorable matchups against this entire team, so definitely not a fun Pokemon to encounter. They're going to strike first, going for the Bubble Beam, and we see the immediate no shield from Kingler. Kingler looking to farm up, banks a ton of energy, and sends in Kingdra. Kingdra is going to be met with a charge move from the Araquanid, immediate no shield. It's another Bubble Beam. Opponent loves their debuffs, and they love tanky Pokemon as well, as now they're going to send in Toxapex. Toxapex will be able to absorb this debuffed Outrage and continue to farm. Kingdra, unfortunately, not in the greatest spot ever after having been debuffed. Kingdra shields up. It's a Brine Bait, and that is really unfortunate. They're going for another charge move. Kingdra is going to let this through. Toxapex goes for another Brine that is double resisted. Kingdra, despite the debuff, gets the farm down. Kingdra potentially looking to pivot here. Opponent is sending in a Bastiodon, and Bastiodon will be met with a Crab Hammer from Kingler. Crab Hammer does massive damage. In comes the Araquanid, and Araquanid will be met with double X-Scissor from the Kingler. X-Scissor number 1 able to land. That's not going to do a lot of damage, making it to X-Scissor number 2, looking to continue to apply pressure onto the Araquanid. Araquanid looking for the farm down. Kingler makes it to X-Scissor number 3, and this will be getting them very low. X-Scissor gets a shield. Down goes Kingler. Kingdra has energy, and Kingdra is going for the Outrage here, trying to get the KO. Opponent commits the shield. Now it's all up to Seaking to try and close out this game. Seaking commits the shield. Opponent goes for another Bubble Beam. Opponent will not stop going for the debuff, and they're going for another Bubble Beam, as now Seaking is double debuffed here. Seaking is going to be firing off the Drill Run. Drill Run is going to land. It's not enough to KO due to the debuffs. Seaking continuing to farm. Seaking makes it to Drill Run number 2. This is going to be getting rid of the Bastiodon. Back in comes the Araquanid. Araquanid has to make it to a Bug Buzz, and they cannot. Seaking, Drill Run, it's resisted. It's going to be KOing the Araquanid and getting the win. Nightmare lead in the next match, Kingler into Ludicolo. Immediate pivot into the Seaking, but these Razor Leafs are shredding the Seaking. Seaking makes it to the Icy Wind. This will only hit for neutral, so Ludicolo does not have to shield it, but will get that ever important attack drop. Down goes Seaking, but Seaking was able to get the Ludicolo quite low. Gonna send in Kingdra. Kingdra able to snipe with Dragon Breath. Opponent is gonna send in Alolan Sandslash. Things just going from bad to worse here, as Kingdra does not appreciate this matchup whatsoever. Kingdra shielding the Ice Punch, going to try and hope for an Octazooka debuff here to make future Ice Punches do less. Going for the Octazooka. Octazooka able to land. We do not see a debuff, but we see an aggressive switch into Kingler to catch an Ice Punch. Very nicely done. That is gonna be resisted. We'll have to see what the opponent has in the back. They have their own Kingdra, and things are looking very tough here, as Kingler is about to get absolutely shredded by these Dragon Breaths. Kingler able to make it to X-Scissor number 2. Opponent shielded the first. Are they going to shield the second? They are not. They know they can comfortably tank that. And now it's a battle of Kingdras. Opponent can pretty safely just go for the Octazooka here. Opponent will go for the Octazooka. We do not see a debuff. Gets the farm down. This is going to be big. Kingdra needs to make it to back-to-back Octazookas to win. Going for Octazooka number 1, gets the final shield and the attack drop. Kingdra gets outpaced by the Sandslash. Ice Punch is going to KO, and that's game over. Moving into the next match, we see Kingler leading into another Whiscash. We've seen this before, fairly neutral matchup on paper, but Kingler can output some pretty serious damage with Crab Hammer. Kingler going for the Crab Hammer on the CMP tie. Crab Hammer is able to connect, but unfortunately we do not see a boost. Whiscash is going to return fire here. Whiscash goes for a Blizzard Nuke, hoping it would KO. Unfortunately, does not quite one-shot since it's resisted, and Crab Hammer is going to be able to win the lead. In the back, opponent has a Blaziken. Blaziken going to be met with Seaking. Seaking will be able to make it to the Icy Wind, but loses CMP to the Blaziken. Is going to respect the Brave Bird here, but the opponent is actually running Blast Burn. Going for the Icy Wind bait, trying to grab a shield from the Blaziken. Blaziken is going to call the Icy Wind bait, and that is very unfortunate, but Seaking manages to farm down. In the back, the opponent has a Powder Snow, Abomasnow, so being able to get some debuffs here will be very crucial. Able to get that first debuff. These Poison Jabs are absolutely tearing through the Abomasnow. Seaking, shielding up the Weather Ball. Seaking, these Poison Jabs have the Abomasnow deep into the red and making it to Icy Wind number 2. Abomasnow just lets it through, and that's a good game. Picking up a terrible lead in the next match, KINGLER into Tentacruel. KINGLER is fully walled in this matchup. Opponent is going to strike first, going for the Acid Spray. KINGLER is going to tank this damage, bank all of the energy, and then save switch into Seaking, which is met with Credilli. Credilli, of course, grass type into a water type, but thanks to the Poison Jab and Icy Wind, Seaking can actually fight back here. Seaking commits the shield and is going to start spamming out these Icy Winds. Icy Wind number 1 onto Credilli, is able to grab a shield. Seaking continuing to farm, able to make it to Icy Wind number 2. Decision time for the opponent. Are they willing to give up that final shield? Yes, they are. They want to try and keep switch advantage, but Seaking does not want to let that happen. Seaking is going to shield up the Grass Knot. Seaking continuing to farm and able to win CMP. Is this Icy Wind going to be enough to KO here? Icy Wind KOs and Seaking wins switch. In comes Tentacruel. Tentacruel is going to fire off a move. If this is the Acid Spray though, which it is, this is not going to KO and Seaking makes it to the drill run. Seaking putting in so much work, able to get the Tentacruel low. In the back, the opponent has Blaziken, and this game is over. Blaziken is able to win CMP here. Blaziken is going to fire off the Brave Bird. That's going to KO. But from here, KINGLER can actually close out this game. Let's go, KINGLER. Crabhammer is going to KO. Mud shots down the Tentacruel, and that is a good game. The bad leads continue in the next match. KINGLER into Toxapex. KINGLER is going to bank a Crabhammer, save switch into Seaking, and Seaking is going to be met with Credilli. As before, Seaking is going to try and flip switch here, going for the Icy Wind, and Credilli is going to let the first one through. Decision time, we are going to see a shield being used by the Seaking. Seaking really wanting to try and flip switch. Going for Icy Wind number 2, putting pressure on the opponent's shield. Opponent is going to commit the shield. Opponent over farming quite a bit, and I believe they may be able to make it to the back-to-back Grass Knots here. So Seaking may have to fire off the Icy Wind, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Is the opponent willing to give up their final shield? They are not. They're going to let that through, and now switch advantage has been won. Opponent sends in a Shadow Swampert, farming up, going for the CMP sack onto the KINGLER. Was the move caught here? Crabhammer gets the shield. The move was not caught, but KINGLER able to get the boost. Back in comes Toxapex. Toxapex is going to fire off the Sludge Wave. That's going to KO. And now, do you send back in the Seaking? Yes, you do, as Seaking will be able to make it to the Drill Run. Drill Run will hit for super effective damage, but unfortunately not enough to KO here. Toxapex is going to be able to reach a last second move. Honestly, even a Brine will KO here. They go for the Brine, and now it's all up to Kingdra. Can Kingdra farm down and leave with enough energy to KO this Shadow Swampert? They're going to reach a last second Sludge Wave. That gets the Kingdra low, and we see the snipe with the Hydro Cannon from the Swampert. This is double resisted. It still KOs, and that's a good game. Hopping into the final match, picking up yet another bad lead, KINGLER into Pelipper, and I'm just starting to think that KINGLER does not win a lot of leads, as unfortunately it struggles in a lot of matchups. KINGLER is going to fire off the Crabhammer on the CMP tie, and at this point, I think you just let the KINGLER go. Opponent baits with a Weather Ball, that is not going to KO. KINGLER, with very few HP remaining, able to make it to a last second Crabhammer. This is resisted, but it's able to grab a shield from the Pelipper. Pelipper has a ton of energy here. Kingdra is going to let this through, calling a potential bait, and it's the Weather Ball. What a call. Kingdra is going to need to shield his next move, as they were able to make it to the Hurricane. Kingdra shields up. Opponent, instead of going for a Hurricane, opting to go for double Weather Ball. This will get a small amount of chip damage, but it's double resisted, so not a lot. Opponent is going to send in Abomasnow. Kingdra going for a bait here, trying to grab a shield from the Abomasnow. Octazooka bait. We see a little bit of lag. Octazooka gets the shield, in comes the Sea King, and got the debuff as well. That is huge. Sea King is going to commit the shield, as these Razor Leafs are now doing a lot less than they typically would. Sea King continuing to farm, looking for the farm down, gets the farm down, in the back, it's a Lantern, and this is Sea King's moment to shine. Able to start spamming out these drill runs onto the Lantern. Sea King gets the last laugh, getting rid of the Lantern, and that is a good game. All in all, the Triple King theme team definitely looks to be a tough one to run, so getting wins with it, considering it is triple water, is definitely quite the accomplishment. And as for Kingler, it does have a pretty interesting moveset, but the monotyping and lack of bulk just makes it really tough to run. As for Triple Legacy Sea King, this honestly feels like a pretty nice meta for it. That ice and ground coverage as the charge moves honestly give it a lot of neutral play. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.